Everyone knows the wheelbarrows of Weimar, Germany. We opened this channel with them. Almost nobody knows this. Germany doesn't even hold the record. Not close. Budapest, July 1946. Prices are doubling roughly every 15 hours. Not every year. Not every month. Every 15 hours, the price of bread changing between breakfast and dinner, dinner and breakfast, again and again. The monthly inflation rate peaks at a number so large it reads like a typographical error. Over 40 quadrillion %. Hungary printed the largest denomination banknote ever issued by any nation. 100 quintillion peng, 20 zeros. This is the fastest destruction of money in human history. And the strangest part is how quietly the world forgot it. To melt a currency this completely, first you must destroy a country. By 1945, Hungary had been a battlefield. Budapest endured a 100-day siege that left the capital shattered. Every bridge over the Danube dropped into the river, and by most estimates, around 40% of the nation's entire wealth destroyed. The state that emerged was a shell under Soviet occupation, owing heavy reparations with no tax base, no working railways, and a starving capital. Every hyperinflation in this series starts with the same arithmetic. Obligations a government cannot meet, and a printing press it can. Hungary's version of that arithmetic was simply the most extreme ever attempted. Here's what makes Hungary different from Weimar or Zimbabwe, and historians still argue about it. The printing wasn't only desperation. Parts of it were policy. With the economy dead, officials reasoned that flooding the country with money, hiring workers, funding Reconstruction, keeping factories moving, would restart the machine, and inflation was the price of the jump start. The state even ran two currencies at once, the ordinary peng, dying by the hour, and a strange indexed unit called the tax-pengő, adjusted daily for inflation, in which taxes and bank accounts were denominated. The government, in effect, protected itself from its own money while letting citizens hold the burning end. Remember that trick. Governments always find a way to index themselves first. Now the numbers stopped fitting in a human mind. The peng gave way to the milpeng, 1,000,000 peng. Then the bpeng, 1,000,000,000,000. Notes were printed in denominations that sound invented. 10 million milpeng, 100 million bpeng. Finally, the 100 quintillion peng note, 10 to the 20th power, the largest ever circulated. A note for 1 sextillion was printed and never issued. The currency died before it could. Workers were paid daily, then twice daily, spending within hours. At the very end, the entire stock of Hungarian banknotes in circulation, all of it, every note in the country, was worth roughly 1/10 of a single U.S. cent. Strip away the zeros, and you find the same human choreography we saw in Berlin and Harare, compressed to fast forward. Professors paid in potatoes and lard. Factory workers in shoes their own factory made. Peasant markets became the real economy. Eggs for dentistry, flour for rent. Banknotes littered the gutters unswept. The street cleaners knew they weren't worth the bending. And in a detail that tells you everything, people burned money for heat, not as protest, but as fuel economics. The note burned longer than the firewood it could buy. 15-hour doubling has one mercy. It cannot last. A fire that hot runs out of country to burn. August 1st, 1946. Hungary introduced a new currency, the forint. The exchange rate remains the most absurd conversion in monetary history. 400 octillion peng, a 4 followed by 29 zeros for 1 forint, and it worked almost immediately. Why? The same 3-part cure as Germany 1923, an episode you've already seen. The printing stopped, the budget was balanced, brutally, with slashed spending, and the new money had visible backing, including Hungary's gold reserves, which had been carried west on a train during the war, and were returned by the Americans that summer. Shops filled within days. The forint held for generations. Money once again revealed. Not paper, not gold. A promise people can watch being kept. Hungary's warning sign is subtle and worth the whole episode. Watch what unit the government uses for itself. When the state collects taxes in an indexed unit while paying citizens in a melting one, when it shields its own income from the inflation it creates. The inflation is not an accident. It's a transfer. And the record itself carries a second warning. The worst case in history happened under an occupied government answerable to no voter. Zeros are cheapest where accountability is gone. Tomorrow, no war, no ruins. A sunny August Sunday in 1971, when one televised speech quietly changed what every dollar, euro, and pound on earth actually is. A new fortune falls here every day. Subscribe.